highlights. Trans got the vision like all 22. Talking Texan CJ in the pocket like the rent is due. Nico rules like poetry, stances with separation. Well off the edge like karma, no hesitation. Lamar with the legs, but he throw like he learned from Breeze. Jamal like a Tesla, zero noise when he leave. Jefferson dance in the zone like he's paid to perform. Parsons bring storms, that boy born in the swarm. Jaden looking like a mirror of prime Mike Vick. Miles coming off the snap like the beat just hit. This that trans Bates energy. Game meets gospel, breaking down legends while the logo go colossal. Off the highlights with trans Bates, we break plays and elevate. Off the highlights with trans Bates, straight facts, no clickbait. Off the highlights with trans Bates, film rolling, don't hesitate. Off the highlights with trans Bates, real talk, never second rate. Every route, every raid, we decode what the greats create. Every name you debate, we define who really hold the weight. Off the highlights with trans, where the truth never shows up late. Off the highlights with trans Bates, just hit play, don't wait, don't wait.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Off the highlights, it's trans Bates. How y'all doing today? I'm just trying something real quick. I'm trying to see if my live is popping up on YouTube, but it's not. So it's crazy. Bear with me. Where would I? Go to the channel. All right, so your host Trans Bates. This is off the highlights. We've had training camp been going down. We done had joint practices. Preseason games has been taking place. I think they got one last one tonight. And really, I just wanted to just go down the rabbit hole of what I think has been the biggest storyline this preseason, especially after the couple games. The Shedeur Sanders situation. I think once he was named the starter for the first preseason game, I think a lot of people had a lot of takes. We already know. Well, we don't. Well, some of us do. Some of us don't. Some people are still wondering about the story of Shedeur. I'm still trying to figure out how I want to. I think I'm gonna cover the games first and then do the backstory. But pretty much, one of the narratives out there was that the Browns were setting up Shedeur to be the fail. So I don't really agree with that narrative, but what we're going to do first is we're just going to go into the games. And I think because of the situation he had with the Giants, coincidentally, Jaxson Dart, because they selected him in the first round, because of that, he's going to be attached to Shedeur Sanders due to the simple fact that people feel like, oh, they picked Jaxson Dart over Shedeur because they think that he's better. All right. So Shedeur and them played first. The Browns, they played the Carolina Panthers. I don't think the Browns played with many of their ones, not their wide receivers at least. But they did play against the Panthers ones. So in his first game, his stat line was 14-23 for Shedeur, 138 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he had 4 rushes for 19 yards. I looked at the highlights. I was kind of back and forth watching the game. I'm kind of figuring out where I was at. I think we was bowling or something. But back and forth watching the highlights. I went back to watch the highlights, and he really it ain't like he's a bad quarterback. He's played well in Colorado. They just had a trash line. He knows what he's doing. It's not like he's a bad quarterback, but I would say to that is I don't think none of them are bad quarterbacks per se, like horrible quarterbacks. Yeah, I think Shedeur probably prospect wise is a better quarterback than those that was selected in front of him. But that is what that is. But as far as him operating the offense with the checkdowns, him maneuvering in the pocket, him uh making a few great throws. It was one great throw that he made. He put it only where the wide receiver could catch it. The wide receiver made a one-hand catch. It was great. As far as he had 2 touchdown passes, those were good. Like he stood in the pocket, he maneuvered around. He did well. Like he looks like a starting quarterback, you know? So for me, so now it's working. All right. So for me, it's I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? He did well. He in his first preseason start, he did well. He did very well. Does it move him up the depth chart? You know how they say because Pickett has been hurt, Dylan Gabriel been hurt, Flacco didn't start, so they gave Shedeur the chance to start. Do we knock a player that's not available due to injury? Who knows? But you know, you have to be happy to see the promise in what Shedeur has done as a starter. All right. So then we have Jaxson Dart. They played against the Bills. He went 12 and 19, 154 yards, 1 touchdown. He had 3 rushes for 24 yards. And from watching his game, I don't want to get into an immediate comparison, but as far as how they play the game, Jaxson Dart, I feel like Shedeur had more command as far as like maneuvering in the pocket, making the throws. I think with Jaxson Dart, he knew what throws he wanted to make. He had a couple check downs that were big plays. He had a couple good easy throws that turned into big plays. And then he had one good deep pass that was a touchdown. And when the pocket collapses, he can get out and he can get you some yards. So I think for Jaxson Dart debut, he did pretty well. Now, as far as what do I want to get into when it comes to Shedeur, Jaxson Dart, see, I don't really think Jaxson Dart is like I think people people talk shit about Jaxson Dart, but it's really not his it's not his fault because the fallout happened between the Giants and Shedeur. Going into the draft process, we thought Shedeur would be number 1 draft pick. And then between him and Cam Ward, clearly the Titans wanted Cam Ward more than they wanted Shedeur. After that, it was the Giants and the Browns at the top of the draft. But I don't think the value of Shedeur was as high as the Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter lore to me. So it really wasn't a thing of, well, we're going to take, we value Shedeur so high, we're going to pass up on a generational pass rusher. We're going to pass up on probably the best 2-way player we've ever seen in the history of the NFL. So, no, not at all. But then at the combine, it was, I don't know what exactly happened, but some issues behind the scenes with Shedeur and the Giants. However way that went, right? If you as an organization are bumping heads with a potential draft pick that you are looking at as a quarterback to lead your team and you want to go in a different direction, that's what you choose to do. If you feel like you can't work with him, I think maybe the issue for a lot of people is how it came out or how they was talking about Shedeur, because that's a triggering aspect for a confident black man to be talked down upon. Like, hey, we don't want you to be that guy. We don't want you to be the loud guy. We don't want you to be the loud confident guy. We want you to be the humble guy. Yeah, I think that's going to ruffle some feathers. But as far as as a coach in an organization, when you're looking at a player and you feel like, can I work with him? And is he going to run the offense that I want to run? If y'all are bumping heads there, then move on. Because I personally, I wouldn't want Shedeur to be in such, like, as far as talent wise, yes, I want to see Shedeur throwing the Malik Neighbors. But do I want him operating and working with a coach who don't really want him, or are they butting heads together and they can't really figure it out? Like, if it goes sideways and he don't want him and draft him, I don't want him on that team. So yeah, and then they fell in love with Jaxson Dart, and then they came back up in the first. Giants came back up in the first round. They selected Jaxson Dart, and now when people feel like Shedeur is better than Jaxson Dart, they're gonna actually automatically hold that against Jaxson Dart. Like, hey, y'all don't know how to evaluate quarterbacks. Da 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 da. It is what it is. So then the other aspect is Shedeur falls in the draft. As far as talent level goes, he shouldn't be a fifth round pick, really. So a lot of people feel like it's collusion. A lot of people feel like they're trying to humble him to a degree. I mean, however you want to look at it is how you want to look at it. What it is, I don't know. What you think it is, it might not be that. It might not be they're trying to humble him in the situation. So then at some point in time, Dylan Gabriel is the, I think, third quarterback. Oh, no, fourth quarterback. No, he's the fourth quarterback taken. And he's taken by the Cleveland Browns over Shedeur in the third round. And then I think in the fifth round, the Browns, having the uneasy quarterback situation, saying, hey, we need to throw as many darts at this board as we possibly can to solve this quarterback situation, on top of all the eyes that Shedeur will bring. You take him. The value is there. If he's a second round, low first round graded draft pick, and he's in the fifth round and he's available and he's a quarterback and you know what comes with him, why not? So they take him. So then Cleveland comes up and says, yo, we got a full quarterback room and we're doing a quarterback competition. So now a lot of people feel like Shedeur being a first round graded draft pick is not going to get a fair shot because he's fourth on the depth chart when it comes to reps. So it's like he's not going to have the ability to show that he's good because he's not going to get that many opportunities. The reality of the situation is you're going to get opportunities to show yourself, but it's going to be limited. So you have to be a little bit more on your game, right? Now, and I get it. Flacco is Flacco. Kevin Stefanski has worked with Flacco, and Flacco has done not miracles with him, but he didn't got him to the playoffs. So he's solid. Kenny Pickett, he's just something that he was a first round draft pick. He hasn't really shown any promise. He's a camp body that is pushing to try to start. Like, he's fighting for his life. Dylan Gabriel, he's an undersized quarterback. He feel like he's an underdog. He's fighting for his life. And then now you have Shedeur in the room. It's a good room for competition. Motherfuckers are fighting for their lives and trying to get on. It's a good room for competition. So you're going to breed a lot of, like, they're not going to be all ass. You're going to breed, it's going to be some good competition to come out of that, and somebody's going to win. Now, a lot of people felt like leading up to that preseason game, if if Dylan and Pickett are hurt and are not going to play, and Flacco is not going to play, and they're starting Shedeur, so all those practice reps should go to Shedeur because people want him. They want him to be well prepared so he doesn't look bad, right? Now, I get it. You're a fan of Shedeur, so you want him to do well, but you don't even, a lot of these people don't even do that for the other quarterbacks that's on other teams that don't get that many reps. And they just, when they play bad, they just automatically judge them as, oh, you're bad. When in reality, maybe they didn't get the many reps. Maybe their team was set up, but a lot of people is not going to point that out with other quarterbacks. But I get it. If your eyes is completely focused on one player, you see the pros, cons of everything that going into what's making him a player, and you're not really looking at the lay of the land as just quarterbacks. And what happens? He's a 5th-round draft pick. However you feel about him and his talent, he's a 5th-round draft pick. He's going to get treated as such. That's going to be his placement on the depth chart. As he get opportunities and play better, then he moves up the depth chart. Then you see, oh, all right, Shedeur. You know what I'm saying? As we don't know what the coaches think because they haven't really came out and said too much. But maybe they view Shedeur as, oh, he's going to be good. We just want him to play and show us that. So then, yeah, we can bump him up past Kenny Pickett, or we don't need to keep Kenny Pickett. You know what I'm saying? I don't think we're going to throw Shedeur to the Wolves week 1, but Joe Flacco probably not going to stay in there all season. He might get hurt or whatever. So at this point, you're looking at the Browns are probably looking at a future quarterback that can be a solid backup right now. And with the showing that Shedeur just had, he showed that. We've seen Pickett, so I don't really know how much we're going to get from Pickett. But Dylan Gabriel, we haven't seen Dylan Gabriel in live action, so I don't know. Now, as far as the reps go, I don't get it. I don't get it. He's a 5th-round draft pick. He's going to get limited reps. But in camp, like everybody is saying, he's killing it with the limited reps, right? So why does the reps matter? If he's killing it with limited reps and doing well, why does it matter the reps that he's getting? Like I got the line right here for pass attempts in camp. Flacco has had 92 pass attempts. Pickett has had 34 pass attempts. Dylan Gabriel had 113 pass attempts. Shedeur Sanders had 70 pass attempts. That seems a very balanced quarterback competition. I know y'all want Shedeur to win the competition, but it has to be a competition. And he's getting reps. And he just started a first preseason game, and he showed out. How is the team that drafted him trying to set him up to fail? I don't understand that narrative. I get it. Maybe if Pickett and them are not playing, he should get more reps to be more prepared. But is this not the coaching staff that has been training him, coaching him, installing the playbook to him, in practice with him? Aren't they the best? Aren't they the ones that know the best of how he's about to play? It's not like they just be like, "Hey, Shedeur, here go 5 reps, man. Yeah, you starting Friday." Like you don't think the team is trying to set him up to win? He's an investment. If he wins, they win. Like it's a win-win situation for the Browns. They didn't invest much into him, but they can get the most out of him. You see what I'm saying? Like I don't understand the teams that the coaching staff that has put the time and effort into getting him to understand the playbook, working with him, that they somehow are the ones trying to set him up to fail. He just showed out with limited reps that he got that he's a good quarterback. Do you not think the coaches see that in practice? And then he does well, right? And I ain't gonna put that person out there, but I think a lot of people should know if you're following it. It's praise. And it's just like, yeah, Giants, y'all fucked up. Like y'all fucked up passing up on this is media reporters. You fucked up passing on Shedeur, right? Cool. Then the Giants played the next game, and Jaxson Dart does well, right? So, but then when Jaxson Dart does well, they don't post the positive play of him throwing the touchdown. They post the play of him getting the ball smacked down at the line of scrimmage, and then be like, oh yeah, he forgot this play and bounced right back to the next play and throw a touchdown. Why didn't you post a highlight of him throwing the touchdown pass? Like the biasness in it. What did Jaxson Dart do to you personally? The biasness in that is the shit that I don't personally like, or like whatever. That's the person that I want to call out, honestly. right? Jaxson Dart, only thing he did is went through the process in trying to be a quarterback selected. If that team fucks with him and wants him on the team and feel like they could work with him and draft him, that has nothing to do. You don't need to slight him because you feel like Shedeur is better than him. That's just like the whole, and I ain't gonna lie, I was part of it. The whole Stroud Bryce Young thing, right? People are trying to pit friends, childhood friends against each other because somebody was drafted before the other person and somebody is struggling, somebody is playing well. Like, oh, that's a fucked up draft pick. Like, we don't even know. Let that shit play out. Like, how many niggas have had great preseason games that ain't shit? Like, yeah, that's what and don't stop pitting them against each other. Like, the Giants felt like they could play better with whatever happened with Shedeur. They went to Jaxson Dart. That don't mean Jaxson Dart is going to be a bum because the prospect grade on Shedeur is higher, right? Shedeur might have went to a team where Kevin Stefanski is the better coach for him than Brian Dable. So now Stefanski is getting more out of Shedeur than what Brian Dable would get. Maybe with the way, like when I seen him play, maybe Jaxson Dart reminds Brian Dable more of Josh Allen than Shedeur Sanders. Maybe Brian Dable, who having a history with Josh Allen, wants a quarterback more like that. So we don't really know. But I do know that in week 1 of the preseason, Shedeur showed out and Jaxson Dart showed up with limited reps. Because I don't even know, like, I haven't even heard how many reps Jaxson Dart is even getting. Like, nobody is covering that. Nobody is saying that. And he has 2 veterans ahead of him. But I guess his situation is a little bit more solid because you know that they drafted Jaxson Dart to be the franchise quarterback or in the hopes of being the franchise quarterback. With Shedeur, it was more like a Browns flyer. But I feel like that's a smart move. Maybe the scouts within the department graded Dylan Gabriel higher. But at some point in the draft, it's like, hey, we might as well take the value on Shedeur too. We gave Watson 230. He hurt. We bringing in a veteran Flacco. He already done some stuff for us. Kenny Pickett, he's fighting for his NFL life. Let's get some competition in this room. Now we got 2 rookies. And we got 2 first-round draft picks next year just in case shit don't go well. So a lot of this shit to me is just kind of like these fucked up narratives about, oh, they're trying to set him up to fail. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't think it works that way in the NFL. I don't really think an NFL team is spending draft picks on a player. Like, I guess in some people's minds, it's just like, oh, Shedeur brings all this attention. We don't really want him, but we're going to draft him, use him for all the attention to bring more light to our team. We ain't really going to give him no help. We're just going to throw him out there. And we're going to use him up until we don't like. If Shedeur is bringing this much attention and this much fanfare to your team, it would be in your best interest to what? Build him up? You know what I'm saying? Because if he plays well and he becomes a franchise quarterback, that changes your whole layout in your history. Kevin Stefanski going to be there 20 years like a fucking John Harbaugh or fucking Mike Tomlin. If he's a franchise hit, that saves his job. Like, I don't know. It is what it is. It's just funny to me. It's just funny. Like, it's I don't really get the whole. I don't get the whole that narrative. Like, oh, they're setting him up to fail. Like, dog, if we were setting him up to fail, we wouldn't even have drafted him. Why waste that? Because if he leaves, all that fanfare is gone. Like, he's the ticket to the fanfare. And if he balls out, that's even more fanfare. So on some real shit, I would want him to succeed the most out of everybody in that room. I'm not going to put him in a bad position by starting him over Flacco week 1, but I'm gonna have him in a position to where if Flacco don't play well, that boy behind him. And we know once he get in there, he ain't giving that shit up. So that might push Flacco to play a little bit better. I don't think Pickett or Dylan Gabriel, they don't have the fanfare or the play ability or haven't shown it yet, especially Pickett. We don't know what Dylan Gabriel look like. To really push Flacco. But Shedeur do. So, I mean, it was a good week 1 preseason games. We got one left tonight. But yeah, man. Let's I get it. It's racially charged. And maybe it is things that goes on behind the scene that I'm not privy to, that reporters are. But I will I don't want to put a but there, but you know what I'm saying? Shedeur got his opportunity. We people were crying for him to get an opportunity. He got an opportunity. And he balled out. You think the Browns are mad? Like, oh, damn. Everything we do to make this man fail, he just rises above it. I can't believe this shit. Why the fuck would I draft somebody? Why? If that's how I'm feeling, why would I draft somebody? I wouldn't even have to deal with this shit if I didn't draft him. Like, that doesn't make any sense, yo. Where's the logic in that? Where's the logic? Fuck it. But anyway, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun breaking down these preseasons. Follow, subscribe, check out the other videos. Transbaits on YouTube. Off the hot OTHW Transbaits on TikTok. That's also on X. We still have the quarterback summer madness. We got one more round until we get into the not the final round, but the other round. What else we got coming up? I got part 2 of the college quarterback spotlight. Make sure y'all check out the part 1 with Lenora Sellers, DJ Lagway, Taylon Green. My bad, I kept calling him Jalen Green, and Marcel Reed. Part 2, we're gonna have John Mateer, Arch Manning, Garrett Nussmeier, Drew Adler, and Cade Klubnik. So I just gotta put that together, and we're gonna do that. I already got the highlights and everything. What else we got? And then we're gonna do another roundtable, probably week 2, week 3 of the preseason before the season starts. Go over everything we've seen in the preseason. Prayers up to any of the NFL players that got injured. I know one of the Ravens ones. I know his injury looked bad. Out of the Falcons game, the Detroit game. And man, prayers for anybody in the teams. Like, hey, let's protect these players from these devastating injuries. Good to see CJ Gardner-Johnson avoided major injury. So there we go. But yeah, man, just check out other videos. Make sure you share. Make sure you like. Any comments, comment down below. How y'all feel about the Shedeur Sanders situation? Do y'all feel like Cleveland is setting them up? Do y'all feel like Cleveland is coaching them very well? Is his play a product of just Shedeur Sanders, or is his play a product of Cleveland coaching him? And do you feel like it's either this or that? Give me your comments down below. But hey, I'll check y'all out off the wall. That was a art show I did. Off the highlights. Hey, make sure you share the videos. I'll holler at y'all, man.
Hey, Trent, do you have an opinion?